We are here on time at 9 o'clock with some good connection. I was military out there in the boonies. I ain't had no connection. One of my live streams actually ended when we was live streaming. Woo! I want to get in at 9 o'clock. Now I could be late on the other days, maybe a minute or 5 minutes, but I want to come back strong. So I hope y'all had a good weekend. I was working over the weekend. Yes, I am live. That's a nice head. I was about to say, who talking about that? I am live as I am setting up right quick. Hopefully y'all can hear me because we could not get nothing going out there with that connection. Let's join. Just want to make sure everything's set up, of course. There we go. That's what we like to see right there. That's what we like to see. We got some stuff to talk about too. We have some stuff to talk about. First and foremost, man, disclaimer. I ain't gonna say it yet. I'm gonna do my first disclaimer for this channel. Damn, I said the other disclaimer. All right, yeah, we horizontal. Let's rock out, boy. It feel good to be back, boy. We good. Man, we are good. We are back. That's good. I feel like y'all can hear me too. We are back. All right, yeah, I can hear myself. All right, perfect. Disclaimer. So before I start talking, let me do a disclaimer because I'll mess around and be talking and I forget to do the rest. Hope y'all weekend was well. Feel free to comment how your weekend was. Feel free to comment. Disclaimer, the videos presented here are for informational purposes only, and therefore, if you are to choose to attend the institution, please do your own research and consult with a specialist at the institution you are interested in. I am not a financial aid specialist, academic advisor, or representing any institution. Speaking on behalf of Creator, Henry is only speaking from his experience. And another disclaimer, because I always talk about a little bit of financial things sometimes, a little bit basic, very basic level. Disclaimer, not financial advisor. But shout out to Palantir, man. What's up, G? I missed you, G. What's good with you, G? So, shout out to Palantir, man. Palantir shredded earnings. They had $1 billion in revenue. And, man, that company is going crazy, man. One of the best. I'm sizzling out. As I've been telling my peers, I'm sizzling out. I hit on that one, and I got to find me another one. I've been really researching. Me and my peers, we've been researching a little bit. So, but Palantir, I think that's a generational company. I don't think right now, at least right now, I don't think I could top that one right now. But I do want to give them a moment of shout out because I'm a Palantirian. And let's get to it because we got higher education to talk about. Because higher education, man, we starting something different. We are on track. Why are we on track? Because the president took a pay cut. I feel real good about that. My weekend was good, G. I was working with the military, and then I tried to. Hold on, I ain't gonna get to that. But the weekend went good. I was working with military course, so I was off balance on sleep a little bit. Still am a little bit, but I'm good though. I would say I'm good. I had some time to sleep a little more, and then this time we're doing now. This is gonna be the time we do all the way up from this point on because I know I start my new job this month, and so I know this will probably be an accurate time I can get on for like a little bit, talk about updates and stay up to date on information. So this is gonna be the new time. Morning, we were trying something just to do it because at first it was uncertainty in the job market. So I was like, well, let's go in the morning. But this is actually better. Why? Because they post a lot of things in the afternoon. I guess people don't work in the morning. People post everything in the afternoon. So yeah, let's get into it. And then for generational, is it generational for better or for worse? I feel like it's for better. I feel like the company Palantir is for better. Personally, I feel like it's the most safest AI company. Personally, at least from a military standpoint. Jeez, I would say worse. From a military standpoint, um, it's very much used in the military. If anybody, it's open record, all the government contracts they have. But yeah, I am not the expert on that. Go check out those how they say all those all of a sudden Palantir YouTube channels. They're so fake. Like, yeah, it was. It's funny to see all these Palantir channels now come out of nowhere. Cause I remember I was like trying to figure everything out. So yeah, don't be giving me them questions already, G. Say the questions, G. Say the questions. Say the questions. We're gonna need some talking. We're gonna need some talking. I need some talking. So, where's my first one? I wrote some notes down too. Definitely some subcategories. So the first one is actually a reaction. A reaction. Let me go to it. I was when I seen it. See, I was trying to live stream last week on what day that was. Last Thursday. I was trying to live stream. I didn't even try Friday because the connection for some reason was just terrible out there. So Thursday I was live streaming if anybody caught it, but then it just shut down on me. And I didn't really want to kick it back up because it just would have been a little unorganized, dysfunctional. So I was like, all right. So what I plan to do is very much probably tonight, if I'm not researching, but definitely tomorrow, post those clips from that Thursday screen. I missed you Thursday and Friday when I actually had time to join. No, you good. I didn't live stream Friday. I did not live stream Friday. I didn't live stream because I was still doing military. I was still out there in that location. So I didn't even live stream Friday. I just said, not gonna force it. I felt like it was a sign, so I just waited. I said I'll wait and come back Monday and just keep going. So I did miss it though. I did miss it. I've been bragging on you. I missed Monday through Wednesday, so I was trying to catch you then. Are you good, G? You're a busy person. You're a busy person. You are a busy person. I knew you would be back when you can, when you get some availability. So the first bragging on me, yeah, I was bragging on you. I've been mentioning some Columbia Ivy League things. Actually, G, fun fact. I was talking to some military people about Ivy League. They didn't even know what an Ivy League was. The ones I work with, at least. These group of people did not know what an Ivy League was. They heard of the schools, but they didn't understand the prestige of these schools and the pattern. And then we started talking about presidents like J.D. Vance went to Ivy League. Trump actually went to Ivy League, believe it or not. Most people wouldn't know that. I still know people who don't. Yeah, it's crazy that people don't. And so we was having a conversation about it. I was telling them about the live streams and what we've been covering. And it just reminds me that it's information people need. And like we say, it's not the most entertaining right now, at least right now. But it's information that is needed because people really don't know. So it made me realize, like, that day off made me realize, like, okay, yeah, we got to keep doing this. Yeah, we got to keep doing this. And G got to keep commenting. And many other professionals in their areas, their majors, careers, and whatever else K through 12, we need to get them because it's a lot of lack of information about education, and people gonna be behind just because they don't know these little details. Yeah, of course, Donald went to Ivy. I didn't even know that. I didn't know he went to UPenn, the University of Pennsylvania, if I believe that's what the correct one. I did not know that. I knew he went. I knew he went to a prestige school, but I didn't know he went to Ivy. I didn't know he was in the Ivy level. Did not know that. Should have probably been like, UPenn is correct. I considered it. See, man, this is what we missed right here. This is what we missed. And so, yeah, we went on a whole topic about that at work, and I'm like, see, this is why I live stream and talk about it. So, yep. And that's actually where one of my professors went too. They went to UPenn for, I think, undergraduate, if I'm not mistaken, or their doctoral. I think it was their doctoral actually. That they got that at actually. Yeah, it was probably, yeah. But More of all, here's the video that we're gonna play real quick. Of course, I'll be talking. I think it's like, I think the video. Mm, that's interesting. So G said real quick before we start, I feel like this is important. G said UPenn has arguably one of the best business schools, best undergrad business schools. Mm. So this video only a minute and 26 seconds. 26 seconds, and we're gonna play it for you. And what it's about the video is about it's by the Wall Street Journal. It says colleges, companies, and philanthropic organizations are retooling millions of dollars in scholarships that for years supported minority students. So let's see what this is about. You already know I have my comments. I watched it a little bit just to make sure it was up our alley, and I felt like it is. As I turn this up a little bit, turn the TV up, engineering a little bit, right? Or producing. And I do not have a note space. Note. I got a corner. I can use a corner of this note space right here. All right.
Millions of dollars in scholarships for minority students are unraveling due to pressure from the Trump administration and other legal concerns. Some colleges, companies, and philanthropic organizations are scrapping scholarships entirely, while others are broadening their scope to focus on low-income students in general. $56 million in scholarships in the National Scholarship Providers Association's database had a race, ethnicity, or gender criteria as of last month. That's a 25% decrease from March 2023. Before Trump's second term began, a 2023 Supreme Court ruling found it unconstitutional to consider race in university admissions. That forced some changes to scholarships. And this February, the Education Department told schools that using race in financial aid could threaten their federal funding. Some schools are under investigation for their scholarships. In March, the University of Michigan's Alumni Association canceled a scholarship program that offered minority students at least $5,000 a year. A week later, the school closed its DEI offices. That same month, Northwestern withdrew from a program aimed at funding minority graduate students. And in April, the Gates Foundation removed race and ethnicity from the Gates Scholarship, saying anyone eligible for a federal Pell Grant could apply. Education experts say scholarship changes could hurt graduation rates and college affordability for minority students.
All right. Like I said, very short, very interesting. DEI, minority student. So these scholarships were for what it sounds like minority students. I heard her say 56 million, but she said something along the lines of down from 25%. So I do want to go find that real quick. Let's watch it again.
Millions of dollars due to pressure. Some colleges, companies, and philanthropic organizations are scrapping scholarships entirely, while others are broadening their scope in general. $56 million in scholarships in the National Scholarship
56 million in the National Scholarship
Providers Association's database had a race, ethnicity, or gender criteria as a
So right here, G, before I speak, G said they are just doing what they said they wanted to return to the good old days. Right. And this is a prime example, once again, about not depending solely on, this is what I want to lead in with. This is another example why you shouldn't depend on scholarships solely. I feel like, especially when it's about, you know how everything is. Let's not sugarcoat this. We know how everything is when it comes to race, DEI, and everything. You should know better not to depend solely on scholarships to pay for school. I'm not saying don't use it, but when blacks and colored folks didn't invade. Let me see what G. So this is just another example though. Don't depend solely on scholarships because you should know better. I'm gonna stay with what I said. You should know better not to depend specifically on something that is specifically about something that seems temporary. I'm not saying DEI is going to be temporary. I'm not saying that scholarships for minorities will be temporary. But I'm just saying, at least in the surrounding nature of where we're at, You have to keep that in mind that nothing lasts forever. Why do I say that? I just say that based on the once again based on the background, like me, G, and other people related, based on how we grew up. It's like nothing when you have something good, it always gets taken away. It always gets taken away for some reason. It just always gets taken away. And this is another reason why you should be like independent, but using like this as a partnership. Everything you do, like you as yourself should be a partnership. Once again, I like to use G because G be in the chat commenting. G said before, I was going to schools, I was trying to go to schools that was gonna pay me. You should want to go to, it's like a partnership. Your school should be looking, you should have some best interests. The school should have your best interests, and you should have the school's best interests, right? Because hey, I don't have to go here. There are other dozens of schools that I can go to, right? You're not the only, in G case, you're not the only Ivy League. There's other Ivy Leagues that can offer me a better package. If you have that mindset, then you can give yourself a better leverage and potentially a better career start. And I'm gonna run the G real quick, and then we're gonna bounce back on this because we ain't done with this. So G said, they are just, I remember he posted that while the video at the end. They are just doing what they said they wanted to return to the good old days. When blacks and colored folks didn't invade their spaces. Bollinger argued for the consideration of race in admissions. Bollinger. Who's Bollinger, G? What's their first name? While you type that. And then I think I said it before. His argument was along the lines of having people from different backgrounds, aids, and the student's education breadth and depth and preparation for the real world. Bollinger. Who's Bollinger? I'm gonna try looking Bollinger up while you type it, because it's gonna come in. He argued in front of the Supreme Court. It's Lee Bollinger, former president of Columbia. All right. You did mention the Columbia president one time. Or before. Let me not say one time. You probably mentioned more than one time. You mentioned them before. And then I was getting them confused with somebody. Okay, Lee Bollinger, he used to be an American attorney and former president of Columbia University. Okay. So you're saying that he wanted the race in admissions? Lee Bollinger believed that there should be race in admissions, G? That's what you're saying? And I'm gonna type in race in admissions, because it should come up. While we look that up. Yeah, he argued for that and won. Okay. Because right here, I'm going to read a general, not credible, but I'm going to read a general AI overview real quick. It says Lee Bollinger as president of the University of Michigan. Wait a minute. Did he do this? So he did this when he was at the University of Michigan, G, or he was already the president of Columbia? But I'm reading the AI overview right now. Lee Bollinger, as a president of the University of Michigan, was a central figure in the landmark Supreme Court case Grutter v. Bollinger. He was also the president of the university. Okay, yeah, I just seen that. It says this case, which was decided 2 decades ago, upheld the consideration of race as one factor in a holistic admission process, affirming that it served a compelling interest in achieving a diverse student body. However, the recent Supreme Court decision in Students for Fair Admissions effectively ended race-conscious admission programs at colleges and universities nationwide, overturning the precedent set in Glitter. So, okay. Did not know that. Appreciate that, G. Okay. And that was an overview. I'm not saying the overview is not accurate, but you know me, guys, I rather get mine from credible sites to make sure I'm giving you the best informed information. So if it's on Columbia News, like you know me, I like to go to the horse mouth itself. Please never rely on Google for a quick answer. Like it might be accurate, but I prefer to get off the website. I just seen things that I just know like sometimes it's not accurate right away. So going back to G, because I have not forgot about this video. We are talking about the same thing. We are on topic about scholarships. He argued that and won. He was also the president of University of Michigan. We just seen that. And he was the president of Columbia at the time, but was representing Michigan. Huh. He specifically, however, is the First Amendment. I said his specialty, however, is the First Amendment. It's his specialty. Okay. Appreciate that. Very well informed. Well, very well. That was very informational. Hey, way to get a conversation going, G. And so, back to the Wall Street Journal conversation. Yeah, scholarships are being taken, man. They said like it was like a down 25% compared to before, and then of course with the current administration going on, as we heard, that it's going to affect graduation rates. And well, he was the president when I was there, so it was kind of hard not to know about him. Yeah, that makes sense. You'll be sidebar. You will be surprised how many students don't know their college president. It will 100% affect graduation rate. Yeah, and you'll be surprised, G, or you probably know this, how many people don't know their college president, and they generally don't care. Exactly. Like they growing right. I'm like, if you know how much your president made, I bet you'll care a little bit. See, people only care about the flashiness and tangible things, right? When it comes to a president, they think a president supposed to, I don't know, demonstrate their wealth. But if they knew how much the president made, it'll be a different type of. How did you get that? You'll be wanting to question them. I can't give that idea out, but it's coming. Definitely a lot more coming. But they want me to say it on the live screen so they can watch me from the behind the scenes and take my ideas, but they won't get it, G. They won't get it. So yeah, they say it's going to affect the scholarships being taken away for minorities. It's going to affect graduation rates, they said. Most certainly true. As G said too, 100%. I can agree. 100% is going to affect them. And it's going to affect retention rates. Students are probably, we don't know who these students are, but like we said before, the average student does not go to a school like I went to, Valdosta State, a 2-year college, right? Or we're talking about undergraduate. So students don't go to schools like that. The average student goes to a school that's like Ohio State, University of Michigan, and so on, right? These big name schools we see on ESPN, right? March Madness, National Playoff, college football, right? Students literally go to schools, go to these colleges. If they're not going to Ivy, they're going to these colleges solely based on, sometimes solely because they seen it on TV, solely because they just like the school since they were little. It's never really because of I can get a great job and then get a great return on investment in my life. So a lot of students are going to get punished for depending on these scholarships. When I say now, you can never really depend on anything solely. You have to have a part-time job. We were just talking about it in the military, because everybody on the reserves, because I'm reserve, everybody on the reserves is like, you got to have like 2 or 3 screens when you're going to school. And so we would love to slowly rely on, like, our great benefits of being in the military, but we know in reality that's not, what's that word? That's not realistic, right? You want to have a diversification in anything you do. Invest in life, family, anything. Just you want to have a diversification. And so G said something in the comment section. G said, fun fact, back in G, I know you did not say 2013. 2013, I was in middle school. But G said, fun fact, back in 2013, Lee was the highest paid private college president. Wow. Did you look that up just now? You better say yes. And then G said, exactly. You can't put all of your eggs in one basket. You cannot. When one failed, I had another. If I relied solely on my last job when I was working at Georgia Tech, because I had a semester, right? They paid for all my schooling. That's one of the benefits, at least in Georgia. That's one of the benefits of working at a college, like a university, part of the university system of Georgia. Shout out to them. They pay for your schooling when you work full time. You have to be there for a certain period of time, like 6 months, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 6 months, at least when I was there. And if you stay there long enough, they pay for your schooling, 100%. So they paid for my schooling one semester. I didn't even have to go use my military benefits. I didn't have to use my own money. I used them. So then it came a time where I'm like, I want to leave. But guess what? I can leave. Y'all don't have no leverage over me. Yeah, the job don't have no leverage over me. They have what paying me what a little decent money. Somebody will laugh at it if I said it on camera. So it wasn't really nothing too crazy compared to most, but it was nice. It was a nice starting out. Talking to my mentors there, they were like, "You have a nice pay starting out," and I was like, "Yeah, I guess." And so, always got to have that diversification, guys. And so G said exactly. G said because if the basket gets crushed, you lose all of your eggs. Boom. Yeah, but I knew that it was just not what year. Yeah, but I knew that it was just not what year he was actually number one. Huh. Well, starting off, it's okay not to get too big of a bag. Well, starting off, it's okay not to get too big of a bag. Yeah, starting off, yeah. That's why I keep hearing that. I keep hearing that. And you know me, I'm gonna just tell you, it's about. I just reposted it on LinkedIn. Make sure y'all follow us on LinkedIn. You can follow the personal, speaking on behalf. I say follow the Henry Felton one. I got I'm the third. It's on there. You can find it. But on LinkedIn, it was a Dave Ramsey post, and it was like Dave Ramsey was like, it's not about. It doesn't matter how much you want to get paid. How much you want to get paid. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you retain and save. And I say that too. That's where I learned that from. I didn't believe it at first until I started doing it. And then it's true. Because if you have below your now, if you're a type of person you want a Lamborghini, you want to live in a $10,000 apartment, and you probably need to be in another career field. Like me, I know I'm a modest person personally, as you can tell. Very modest, right? Very modest background. I'm a very modest person. Um, I don't wear jewelry. Never. And plus, it breaks my skin out a little bit. I lost my mama chain she got me. If she heard me say that, she'd probably be upset with me. She got it for me in high school, and I don't have it no more. I lost it. Wasn't getting enough sleep. So, I would say it depends on like the person when it comes to pay. And as we like to say, money is 80% psychology, 20% math. Because I am not a math wizard, like G in the comment, not a math wizard. So, students, if you are affected by this, I just know it's a lot of schools that have scholarships that are for minorities. Personally, at my graduate school that I'm at, which is the college, I said it before. I won't say it because I don't want them to, somebody might be watching it, report it. But my graduate school had scholarships like that. They had scholarships because they had like it was a terrible. They need to fix that software, whatever it was. It was terrible. But they had it where you can apply like you do like one you fill out the information and then it pretty much applies it to all the scholarships you could be eligible for and win. But as we said before, well, I'm certain. Yeah. And so G said, I'm certain a lot of those scholarships are going away. Yeah. And so I know my school, I can't imagine what's going on at my school. I can't imagine what's going on. I know I know it's not good because my school tried to make us pay on August. They said the money was due August 6th. Class don't start till August 25th for graduate students. And they wanted the money that's the earliest they ever wanted the money, which is crazy. As we say, I said they wanted that money early because I said they wanted the money early because of what's going on. They trying to hurry up and get all the money they can before stuff get taken away or whatever the case is on their end. But I don't think it's accurate. They sent me something today. I said, well, I sent what I need to send. So if they drop me from my classes and did everything I was supposed to because I don't know what they doing. They didn't update the balance. So they better get to it because I gave them everything they needed. And then G said right here, well, I'm certain a lot of those scholarships are going away. Yeah. Or open their admission. Okay. Columbia actually never had any race-based scholarships anyway. Interesting. They want their money before a lot of students change their minds. Yeah. Because last minute changes are real, right? Dropping those classes. right before you about to start class and say, "Oh, there's too much going on. I don't want to go to class. I'm gonna just work." So, but like I said, we got one more semester, and then you'll know when I graduate because, well, I might as well say I'm not walking at my graduation. So I will spend my graduation here on this live screen with you all. Yes, indeed, because I don't see the purpose of going to that graduation, and it's gonna make more sense when I talk about the third topic. The third, yeah, the third headline. When I talk about the third headline, it proves our case that we are right. Everything we're talking about on this live screen with me, G, and Alice Marie when she's here, it proves everything that we're right. It proves everything. I can't wait for that third segment. That's why I saved it for the last. So, G said, G said, should I make sure I start for the rest? Well, G said right here, they gonna change their mind because they're afraid they may lose their scholarships. Yeah. You told us that before that you had no interest in walking. Yes, I did. And I'm glad. See, I'm standing on it. I'm standing on the business of it, G. I'm standing on business about it. I'm keeping consistency with it. I'm not changing my mind. They may also change their mind because they may have to reapply for loans. Yeah. And loans, that's going to be a whole madness in itself. At least the federal loans. Can't speak for private loans, but the federal loans, that's going to be madness. It probably is madness now. Probably madness now. So I had a subcategory to talk about before we jump to the next segment. That was all I wanted to talk about the scholarships, the uncertainty of scholarships. That's what most people get them. Well, most people get their scholarships from federal or private, G. In your experience, they get them from, yeah. Is it more private or more federal? A lot of people I seen they got them for a lot of people I know based on the schools they went to, they got them from the financial aid. And so I G typed that. So we got a subcategory, and then I said with the scholarships, don't depend on the closeout. Don't depend on scholarships. Okay, don't depend on scholarships solely. Never do that. Especially if you're listening to us, we're going to tell you to keep a part-time job. Remember, get a part-time job with consistent work hours that works and understands your schedule. You're probably like, how am I going to find that? Like, guys, when I was doing my job process, this time around when I did it, I made a goal to apply to one job every day. If I apply to one job every day, that's 10 jobs I applied to in 2 weeks, which increases my likelihood of getting interviews, if not having another job lined up. I thought it was crazy, but it was very effective. And so if you want to do weekends, even better, but I was just doing it through the week because I wasn't working. So same experience when you might not be at my pace or where I'm at right now. You might be like 21 or 20 years old. So, and I feel like I said before, I feel like a lot of y'all are better hustlers than me. I won't say, like I said, I had to use my vessel. But before I go down that rabbit hole again, because we already know that. Most of us in this chat know this. We're going to talk about what the subcategory about the B. I'm going to look at what G said. G been going crazy in the chat. Got to show G love. Because G don't have to be here. G could be doing something better. So, there are loans from federal, and most times, if you get a scholarship, you also get impelled. I'm gonna read that one more time. There are loans. Oh, because we was talking about like where do most people get their loans from? I was like federal. I see most people get them from the federal, like from financial aid, but people can get them from private as well. But take the government way before you do the private. And G said their loans mostly came from federal, and most times if you get a scholarship, you also getting a Pell. Okay, most likely, right? Most likely, right? Most likely. Nothing's ever set in stone like 100%. Nothing, unless you going into student loan debt. Student loan debt is 100%. We beat the odds, G. We beat the odds. Well, let me not even say student loans are 100%. Student loans are a 99.9% chance of you getting them. Yeah, I like that. You have a 99.9% chance of getting student loans. You could be that 0.01%, you know. So, and G said, well, more like 40% of students get Pell Grants. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, most people get loans in some form, especially if they stay on campus. There we go, G. You starting to get the lingo, especially if they stay on campus. You said it like you typed it like I would type it. I've been rubbing off on you a little bit. So our subcategory that we're gonna talk about real quick is Queen Latifah. I gotta shout Queen Latifah out. Definitely have to clip it so I can tag her and she can see it hopefully and bring some recognition for us, some publicity. And shout out to her mom, RIP. I did a little research, not a deep dive, just a little research. So Queen Latifah started at a community college. Of course, she was a rock star, great artist, like musician, actor, everything else I probably don't know about. But she started at a community college. She didn't jump straight to university. But for my people out there who do go to universities and feel like universities are the bomb diggity, right? Her mom did. Her mom was a teacher actually. So her mom was a teacher. Based on what I looked it up, her mom was a teacher, and then her mom attended like 2 universities, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm going to look her mom up right quick so I can see the schools that they had on here. So yes, Rita Owens. So her mom studied at. It's not showing right here. Of course. When I was about to cook. Yeah. So our mom was she went to Virginia Tech and then she went to Westfield State University. And it says right here that she was a teacher. Of course, the mom was a teacher, which rubs off and makes sense because Queen Latifah was very lyrical, very savvy with lyrics, very creative, way ahead of her time. The thing she was doing, she was like 21 and 20 years old. So I just want to say, like, that's another part of education being super important because she just came from Queen Latifah came from a working class family, but of course, she's a star, and so I wanted to mention that because 2 year colleges, man, we produce those type of stars, like like it's just something about those 2 year colleges, Tom Hanks, Steve Jobs, um, who else, man? Steve Jobs co-founder, who they say actually did all the work. Many more people, man. It's a lot more people who started at 2 year colleges, and of course they probably don't finish at the 2 year. G said, "LOL." Okay, G. Somebody got to make it cool. Somebody got to make it cool. Somebody got to talk about it. And so that put something else down about this. I just wanted to shout them out, and then mention that part already. So yeah, I just had to mention that. I had to mention that. Like that's they want. She's a one of one. I don't think we'll get another Queen Latifah. I didn't even get a Queen Latifah. Actually, I got the movie version of Queen Latifah. I didn't even get the hip hop version of Queen Latifah. So hopefully we get another version of her one day. We're not even close to one. That's bad. All right. So I did want to mention that, and so Alabama admissions just got better? Question mark. So, according to Chronicles of Higher Education, before I get started, I always got to go find it. So, Alabama tries direct admissions. So, Chronicle of Education has a brief right here, and then we can go to the news. I think it's a news. It's like owl.com. Never heard of it. And it's still buffering as if it's not open. There we go. So What is a direct admissions? I don't even have an idea what direct admissions is. We're gonna learn about it in this article. What I consider this an article by them. It says students will be able to fill out a single profile and receive offers from 39 community and four-year colleges across the state under a program announced last week by Governor Kay Ivey, a Republican. The University of Alabama System and Auburn University are not participating, according to al.com. Literally like AL, I guess Alabama.com. Very creative. It says right here, no more applications. Alabama students can submit info to 39 colleges at once. I don't know if this is good or bad. I really don't know. I think it's better. Just apply once. I don't know. Let's keep going. Many Alabama students and their we got a video. Is this a video? Is this part of it? Is this part of it? Or is this an advertisement? I don't know. I think this is something else. Like somebody cow doing. I don't think that's an advertisement video. It says many Alabama students and their families can say goodbye to college essays. College essays, they can say goodbye to it in Alabama. And then they said, and application fees. I did just speak on this. I did just say there is a I did just say like when you apply to schools, you have to think about, part of your expenses of trying to get into college. Like you have to pay a lot of application fees. If you apply to like 10 schools, but application fees are like 50 a piece, I think that's $500 right there. Let's see if my mental math is right. Before G says something. Let me see if I get my. Let's see. 50 times 10. That should be about, yeah. Come on, computer. As we're waiting on my calculator. Yeah. And we got a comment from G, which is good. That means we talking something good when we get a comment. G said, "LOL, I'm gonna let you do it." I'm just saying, I believe it's 500. Well, I said 50 times 10. Yeah, 500. I just want to make sure. So like that's $500 if you apply to 10 schools. Like I'm just saying, being real. I know families that don't be having that. As we look at statistics, right? It's like a common stat. That average American don't have $1,000 in their savings. So let alone you want them to spend $500 applying to different colleges to hopefully get in. So let's just keep that in mind. And we still working through it. So G said, because we're having a conversation. G said, where is it? Oh, I didn't even see you said that, G. I didn't even see that part. G said, so about 30 to 40% of students get federal loans and about 70% of students graduate with no debt. Oh, 70% of students graduate with no debt. Oh, we part of that 70% club. Okay, that adds up a little bit. And then G said, this kind of makes sense talking about right now with the admissions direct right now. This kind of makes sense considering that a lot of at least more prestigious schools use a system where you can provide uniformly the personal information and they personalize this accordingly. I'm gonna let you do it. Any number times 10, add a 0 to the end. Hey, that rhymes too. G, I was just talking to a math teacher who also serves in the reserves. Shout out to them. Yes, guys, we have people from different career fields that are in the military. We have teachers. We have every career field you think that's not doing reserve, they're doing it. Like people who make like 6 figures and more, like $500,000 on salary, are in the reserves. Hope that's an eye opener for people who think, oh, I make too much money not to be in the military. Just an eye opener, right? So we were talking about math, G, and she said exactly what you said. She said she always did math left to right. Always did math left to right. She said except for correct me, G. I think she said on except for multiplication. No, I think it was except for subtraction. Subtraction. I think only for a subtraction you do it from right to left. And G correct me on that. But I was like, what? How did I miss this? She said everything left to right. She went to school literally for mathematics. She got a master's in math. She said she would have got a PhD in it. She's actually considering getting a PhD in math. And then she was like, yeah, everything is left to right. We had a 30-minute to hour conversation about it. I thought it was dope because I asked once again, G. I was bringing you up. I was bringing up about that. Of course, I didn't say G, but I was bringing up about this person on my live streams that said they do math left to right. I was like, is that accurate? And then she was like, yeah. She was like, I do all my math left to right. I was like, what did I miss this in math? I said, I ain't have no good math teachers. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. You be talking about me, don't make me. Yeah, I really listen to. I think I'm showing it. I listen to people. Like, I guess that's like some. I guess some people think I'm a salesman, but I really listen to people. I listen to people. I take it and I learn from it because that's helpful information. Like, if that's real information that's helpful, yeah, and I get it for free. I gotta take advantage of it. That's the time we live in right now. And so G said, I had a math teacher in high school who was a reserve military. Dope. LOL, you be talking about me, don't make me blush. Most teachers don't teach math like that. They don't. Yep, because I didn't learn it like that. I thought like that's why I used to get confused because some things I work on from left to right, some things I worked on from right to left. And I was confused, obviously, as you could probably see. I was trying to figure out like subtraction is right to left. Because the traditional way of teaching is right to left. Wow. So now I know when I have my kid, they learning everything from math left to right except for subtraction. I think it's subtraction. Correct me on that. It's only subtraction you do right to left, right? Because I've been using calculators. I never usually it's right to left with subtraction. Yeah, right to left. So like now I know tell my kid you doing left to right. So now I know how to identify a inconsistent math teacher. That's the little things we don't think about right there. The little things we don't think about. And I think I said I went to search for it. Yeah, for subtraction. Yeah. Yeah. That's the little things we don't think about. Game changer right there. Game changer. Make math easier. Oh, I know I need to go left to right. And we started talking about the orders operation and all this other stuff. She was like, I know I might start speaking to. I said, I already know. Math is a whole nother language. Well, it's not inconsistent. It's just the way they were taught to teach. Oh, okay. So back to the Alabama direct admissions. Come on, computer, not computer. I think it's the website. Everything else, yeah. Slow website. I don't want to be on this website long. Remember, this is by owl.com. So we get this information for them. It doesn't say who wrote it. It was published July 31st, 2025. It says the state hopes to rearrange the traditional college application process where a student keeps track of dates, requirements, and forms for multiple colleges. Instead, starting this fall, high school students who fill out one online profile on Match may get direct admissions offers from community colleges and four-year colleges around Alabama. No actual application is required. That's gonna make admissions really smooth. Well, like I said, a lot of schools use a system like that already. I didn't know that. Like in Georgia, we don't have that unless they change it. Cause I ain't applied to a school in undergraduate, since the time I was transitioning. But even when I was transitioning, I don't remember doing anything like that. I know it's something like that with transcripts, G. But the fact that you said other schools are doing that already. So I guess I'm showing that the South is a little behind because Georgia, yeah, we don't have that, I think. I don't think we got that. It says instead of applying to college, colleges are basically courting them, said Chandra Scott, executive director of Alabama Possible, a nonprofit that coordinated the initiative. And then Governor K. Avia, yeah, we know that. How do direct admissions work? Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. So it says schools around the country are trying direct admissions. Schools around the country are trying direct admissions. They make offers to students who meet certain academic or demographic criteria. Don't say that. Don't say that. You're gonna cancel it. College Board and Niche also have direct admission forms. Niche, NICHE. Niche is that. I think that's. I think that's a website. I think I seen her. Yeah, I think that's the website they be talking about the ratings of college parties and all that unnecessary things. But cause G going crazy right here. Yeah, I think it was College Board we used. Yeah, he said College Board and Niche. So G said, boom, boom, boom. I'm not. So G said, well, like I said, a lot of schools use a system like that already. I'm not just talking about in-state. When I applied for Harvard and Columbia and some other schools, it was a combined system. They just had some personalized pieces like their essays and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it was College Board we used. I think it was College Board we used. That's what G said. Yeah, Niche does different college ratings. Yeah, they college ratings are interesting. Interesting. So, but they say right here, but efforts are usually school by school. Alabama's new statewide program is more like Illinois' one-click college admit. So in Illinois, you can do a one-click college admit where students can fill out one form and get expedited offers from a set of state universities. That's impressive. Yeah, they know. I didn't even know states were doing this already. Interesting. Alabama's process will work like a matchmaking service. Matchmaking service. High school seniors fill out online profiles on Match and upload transcripts. Their profiles are reviewed by 39 college. Their profiles are reviewed by 39 Alabama colleges and universities who will make admission offers. Sound like a recruitment system. That's what it sounds like. Sound like it's recruiting. Like, oh, I see the students. If I'm working in admission, I see the students who fit our school criteria, and I just send it out. It's gonna be literally like, hey, I send you an offer. Like, what's you coming here? Like, what's good? What's up? Like, hey, I send the offer. I'm calling you. If I work in admissions, it's just like sales a little bit. I send it out in admissions. I send it to that student. I'm calling them right away. I'm going to call them. Like, hey, you got the offer? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We want you. We want you. Like, you got to really show these students love about coming to a school and making them feel like you're in their corner. And that's what a lot of schools fail at because they don't understand that. They think it's only in sports. It's like do that for the academic students. They want to feel like needed. They want to feel needed. Like that's what I wanted. I want to feel needed. So the college will match themselves to the student, and they will receive a direct admissions letter saying "Welcome to their institution." Scott said. All right, so we're finna get in. What are the benefits of direct admissions, real quick? But before we get into that, I'm about to get into G is typing more. Back then, it was actually the place to go to. LOL. What was the place? What back then? What was the actual place to go? Oh! I know what you talking about. Niche. Yeah, niche. Yeah. Okay, that's why. And then he said back then it was actually the place to go to. LOL. Oh, they took away some messages. Did you take the messages away, G? They took them away. So, all right, we'll keep going. Yeah, I figured that's what you were talking about. When I read the above one, I was like, talking about niche. I never even used it at all. I never used it. But what are the benefits of direct admissions? That is a good question. Is this a benefit? It sounds like it's a benefit, but let's get to it. And I feel like they're gonna talk about what I said. Let's get into it. So there's no additional forms required, such as recommendation letters or essays that are usually a hindrance to a lot of students or even just makes them afraid of the process. So we are removing all of those things that will slow them down or even alleviate them from the journey of seeking a post-secondary pathway. So I'll be honest with you. Yeah, if a school had told me I had to write an essay to go there, at the time I'm willing to do it now. But back then, I was not gonna go to that school. I'll be honest, guys. I was not gonna go to that school. Like, why am I writing it? I'm not going to the school. I can't put no simple guy. I just did not want to write an essay at that time. Now I got better at writing. I just did not want to write at that time. And so it's something else in here that caught my attention when they said, "Oh, it slows them down." Like, yeah, they said it makes students scared to go to college. It's definitely like a barrier. I would say it's a lot going on as a high school student. No excuse, but it's a barrier a little bit. It's a barrier. Like, it's like, why you want me to apply like essay, money, and da da da. I just want to apply. I might not even get in. That's the most common thought process. I might not even get in, and you make me do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, that's the main like. Quit. So G said because of the schools you were applying to, I'm sure. And then G said literally every school except my state school required. Literally every school except oh, literally every school except my state school required multiple essays. LOL. Multiple is crazy. Multiple is crazy. Multiple essays is wild. That's wild. And then as we keep going, said Scott said application fees cost between $50 to $100 and can be a financial barrier. I just said that those fees can be a financial barrier for families. We just said that. So we just said that. See, they just said it's $50 to $100 for application fees. Application fees, yeah. So like we just said, if you apply to 10 schools, so if you apply to 10 schools, that's $1,000. You apply to 10 schools, that's $100 application fee. Oh my goodness! And like we said, the average family does not have $1,000 in their savings or emergency fund. So you want them to pay $1,000 to apply, and then we have somebody in here. I'm gonna call them AG, and they said, "And nice to meet you, nice to see you, appreciate you, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. Hopefully, we say something you like and talk about some things." Yeah, personal statement plus their specific set of essays, but the system let me submit a general personal statement. All of my application fees were waived. That's that's nice. That's nice and a blessing. Cause I did not. I applied one. Actually, I applied 2 times. Once again, I went to a school by accident, so I didn't have to do application fees like that. My 2 years probably like $25. And then my 4 year, I don't even know how much they charged me. I don't want to say that. I think it was probably about, I don't know how much it was. I just know I had to pay. But I know it wasn't that same price. It was a little higher. It wasn't nothing crazy, but why are you charging me this application fee? What it does this pay for the application fee should pay for my Captain Gown in the future, but don't get me started on that. So all of mine were around that price. Okay. And then it says the difference between a light bill. Ooh, they getting detail in here. So Scott, remember we mentioned Scott earlier. Who is Scott? Scott is, I think, Scott is, who is Scott? Oh, Chandra is, I believe it'd be like Sandra, but it's Chandra with a C, Chandra. But we're gonna say Scott. I'm gonna keep calling him Scott. So Scott says the difference between a light bill or medication and a college application. Scott said, yeah, like yeah, that's real life for most people, especially if they say you're a first generational college student. Funny enough, I know a Chandra. Is it? Oh, look. All right, G. This is what we're gonna do. One or two. Is it Sandra or Chandra? One is Sandra. Two is Chandra. So one or two. Which one is it, G? One, two. Okay, Chandra. It is Chandra. Okay, cool. Funny. Funny, right? Funny, right. Got it right. So, Yeah, if you had to tell them to pay for a college application, they're going to choose the light bill or the medication. Don't talk about medication because medication is, we know the history of medication right now. We know the situation. So as we keep going, the deadline for students wanting to attend college in 2026 is September 23rd. Colleges will send admission offers on October 6th. Huh. Okay. Yeah, for 2026. I'm like, what? It's 2020. Okay, yeah. Fall 2026, respectfully. Okay. So real quick as we keep going to before we go to the next one, G said they do application fees to limit they do application fees to limit to serious people. So they don't get too many spoof apps. Yeah. Yeah, you always gotta, which makes sense. That's why I understand what price is. That's what you do. You gotta do that sometimes, so you don't just get people applying just to apply. Because if it's free, then everybody gonna apply. So you immediately knock out people who not serious when you charge your fee a little bit. You immediately get rid of them. If you ask for waivers, they 9 out of 10 give it to you. So if you didn't know that, guys, G said 9 times out of 10, if you ask for a waiver, I didn't even know to ask for a waiver. I never thought about asking for a waiver. I just pay the price. If you ask for a waiver when you're applying to college, so that means calling admissions, whoever you need to talk to, and say, hey, can I get a waiver to apply here? Da da da. They can make it happen because the money isn't really what matters, right? So which colleges are participating? All right, so this is important. This is in Alabama. So if you are in Alabama, this pertains to you, for my Alabama people. It says statewide, 39 2-year and 4-year colleges are participating. Once again, statewide in Alabama, 39. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna repeat this. I'm gonna put this in the chat so y'all can see it. This is in Alabama. Gotta use my head sometimes. So if you're in Alabama, because the money isn't really what matters, yeah, we said that. Right. And so I put in there what I just said. And then it says right here, 4-year colleges include the University of West Alabama, Tuskegee University, Troy University. Families can find the full list of participating colleges on the Alabama Possible website. It says the University of Alabama campuses, the University of Alabama system campuses, and Auburn University are not participating. The University of Alabama system campuses, I don't know. I'm gonna do a basic Google research because if that's what I think it is, like how we got the University System of Georgia, but if if the University of Alabama system campuses is not participating, if that's like their system, they're not participating. That's a little, it's a little, it's a little, yeah. I think it is, guys. Yeah, yeah, it is. I'm going to say it is. I think that's like their headquarter. So while only certain schools are doing this, that's crazy. So it's not all like, oh wow, interesting. I wonder why Auburn University is not participating. It's very interesting. So it says Match is powered by, right here it says Match is powered by Concourse, an online platform that opened the college matchmaking program in 2022. Makes sense because I never heard of Match. And that's exactly, I graduated in 2022, December 2022 from my university. So I didn't use this. And they said, according to Inside Higher Ed, Inside Higher Ed is, I think they're orange too. Yeah, they are. Yeah, but I said we always read from Inside Higher Ed. Don't know why I had brain fart, but they are credible. Chicago piloted a direct admissions program via Match several years ago. So they was doing a pilot program several years ago. That's funny. That's like when we just got out of high school. So that's pretty much it, guys. about that. So that's an update for all my people out there in Alabama, showing love. Y'all can play that back if I said some things too fast or mispronounced some things, said some things irrelevant, got sidetracked. We be having conversations up in here. Me and G go crazy. So, my last and final part. Ooh, all right. This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part, G. I love talking about when it comes to presidents and their money. I love talking about it because they make too much money, and I know if they cut back on them salaries, they'll make a big difference in the students' pockets. So, I think it's a video to this too. The president. I'm gonna read the briefing from the Chronicle of Higher Education first. Then I'm gonna go to the actual page that it's been posted on because they always give us links to it. So, a president takes a pay reduction. A president takes a pay reduction. We always talk about presidents need to take a pay reduction. I'm not saying that it's going to solve the problem at every institution, but I'm saying it's going to help. So for many that don't know, because I know we have a new person in here, presidents make millions of dollars. Now, in certain schools, they might make $250,000, they might make $500,000, or if the school is really small, they might make just 6 figures max, in that range. So the president that took this pay reduction is Rick Bailey. He agreed to temporarily reduce his salary, his $290,000 salary by he wanted to reduce it by 20%. And he's a president at Southern Oregon University. Never heard of it. I don't know if anybody heard of that institution. I never heard of it. And so he said, not him, but they said this is in hopes to slash its budget from $71 million to $60 million. So, and this is by Oregon Public Broadcasting. Sounds very local, a local area. So right now I'm about to go to the actual posting of it. Wish it was a video, of course. They don't, one thing I need some more videos by these professionals. They do a lot of public speaking, so I know they be doing videos. And actually, we can go to we actually gonna review this college, because they having budget concerns and problems. So why not review the school, right? We got people that's probably getting ready to go to this school. This might be some people dream schools. So why not talk about it? This is why we love what we do. Like, so many colleges, guys, that I don't even think it's funny. There's so many colleges. So they're in Ashland, Oregon. Southern Oregon University. I want to see if I can find a video. Usually I can find a video in a heartbeat. No, that's the article I'm on right now, I think. So I'm not going to break my neck because I already got the article in front of me. But if I could find a video while I'm researching this school, that's going to be the school review at the end. So do that. I'm going to put right here, write down some notes. Review. Let's go on. All right, perfect. So Southern Oregon University. Once again, I said the president, is trying to cut their salary, or actually, the board of trustees voted unanimously to cut it by 20%. So they said to approve this voluntary request to reduce his salary by about $53,000. So his salary gonna drop to only about $237,000. That's what he's gonna be making. Not nothing crazy, right? Still almost $250,000. But it says, although it's certainly been the most difficult week I have had since I've been here, Bailey hopes this change will get people attention. I hope it gets people attention. I plan on getting, hopefully, they're going to get a shout out from me because, once again, like I said, President Bailey knows that college presidents make too much money. In fact, I'm pretty sure he knows he's probably one of the lowest university paid presidents I ever seen so far. I never seen a president at a university make that much. Like, I don't know how big this school is. I don't know if they're like a, like I said, a 4 year I went to, but he is on a president scale. I think he's making perfectly what a president should make. I think all presidents should make the type of money he's making. There's no reason a president should make uh millions, 10 million, and so on and so on, which is crazy, right? Um, and I don't think athletic directors and head coaches that work in a college, you would say like working college programs should make millions of dollars either. I think they should have a cap, only because the institution is there for what credibility, education, of course, and whatever the school want to do. But and then I got a comment from G, because guys, I don't like hearing myself talk all the time. I wish I had people I could bring in, have conversations, but we ain't there yet. So I gotta use my voice. And so I always said, if a president's and top execs, if they cut back on their salaries, it will make a big difference in the budget concerns. So that's why I don't agree with the schools, colleges, like and subscribe, guys. I don't agree with colleges trying to blame the Trump administration for their bad budgeting habits. One person can't mess up your budget that quick. And so now I'm going to go to G real quick, give G the floor, because I still got more to say. But once again, what's the point of having people in the chat not to listen to their point of views? So let me see if it's updated. I see G comments coming in. Let me see. All right, they all in. So G said, Lee was also the highest paid in 2018. That's what I remember. So we talked about Bollinger Lee, Columbia's president, formerly University of Michigan president too, was one of the highest. If I'm not mistaken, G said one of the highest Ivy League presidents that was paid in 2018. And then schools are nonprofit, and like all nonprofits, to get the best talent, they accordingly pay. So schools wouldn't do that. Schools are nonprofits, and like all nonprofits, to get the best talent, they accordingly. Oh, I see what you meant. I see what you meant. Schools are nonprofits, and like all nonprofits, to get the best talent, they pay. So schools wouldn't do that. All schools like Columbia can afford it, so it's buckled and dimes, I suppose, or nickels and dimes. So it's nickels and dimes, I suppose. Highest paid private college president. So pushback. So schools are nonprofits, G, right? And you said, so are you talking about like them to get the best talent, as in like college presidents? For them to get the best presidents, yeah, for them to get the best, I guess, presidents, we'll stick on college presidents, that they have to pay them a high number to get the best potential college president. That's what you're saying, G? To get the best talent? And so I'm gonna wait for G answer before I keep going, guys. Because G said most schools are nonprofits, and like nonprofits, they to get the best talent they gotta pay. So the best person who can wrangle those funds is what they want. Gotcha. So I figured that's what G was gonna go with, because every person that I met that was a college president, very charming, very charisma. Some of the reason we actually read some stuff on, like, that's why they started shifting from normal traditional background of higher ed professionals and started shifting toward like um business like people, because they know how to get donors, like you said, G, and they know how to get investments and all these other funds, because a lot of like you said, if it's nonprofit, they have to get investments, they have to get people to put money back into the school. And so that is understandable, very much true. And then G said essentially people who could be in the private sector as leadership to get them in the nonprofit and stay. They pay well, especially people who. I'm gonna read that one more time. Essentially, people who could be in the private sector as leadership to get them in the nonprofit and stay. They pay well. Yeah. I knew you was finna say something. I knew something else was about to come in. That's why I stayed looking. I was like, something else about to come in. Like we talked about before, that's why law professors and medical professors make a lot of money for the same reason. I knew you was gonna say that too, G. Not that, but I knew you was gonna say something else because I was just talking about that. I still don't think law professors and medical professors should get paid much. Me personally, because if you making it, this is public service. And I don't know if it's going to be possible to make that shift. I don't know. I don't know. Personally, they do get the best talent. They do to get the best talent. Like the best professors, I feel like there's so many things that go into that, right? To get the best professor, like everyone else, they want money. Yeah, to get the best talent. See, that's where my sports come in a little bit. That's where my sports mind come in a little bit. Because usually a professor, all right, just because you were a great, we'll just go with law. Just because you are a great law person, right? You was a great like attorney. You won, you was defense, prosecute, whatever. You were great at your job. So you say, oh, I think I'm gonna go and be a professor, right? So then you tell them like, I won all these cases as a lawyer, and I'm ready to present this information to students who want to be a lawyer. And so it's like in a sports ideology, it's like Kobe Bryant saying he could be a coach, essentially. Kobe Bryant, RP. It's like Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, or I can't even use LeBron because LeBron is a brilliant, like mind, like the way he plays, but definitely not even trying to get no debate. But just like Michael Jordan and Kobe, if Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant tried to become coaches, it wouldn't work because a shot that Michael Jordan can get off, that person you're trying to teach probably can't get that shot off. Same thing in law. That law that the attorney is trying to teach to this person who probably can't do it that way, it has to be another way, right? There's not no one way to teach law. The goal, I feel like, as well, you looking for the middle. I feel like the goal for is when you're trying to present information as if you really want to come teach these kids, these future lawyers, right, how to win cases and how to be an effective lawyer, it's really more about putting the information in front of them. Like that's what it's about. Like if them saying I should be paid, a lawyer saying I should be paid this much because I won this many cases and I feel like I'm going to attract the best. I'm going to attract the best students based on my past experience as a lawyer versus me being a professor. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of like this how it goes. I feel like this how it goes usually. You're going to get a lot of students at first, but when the students who go through, let's say the first 2 years, them law students who come through say, I really didn't learn nothing, but they were a top prestige lawyer. And then when we start seeing the return, like they're going to make their money. If I'm making sense right now, the lawyer is going to make their money. But when they start seeing like, do you go on and win cases after learning from this so-called top-notch lawyer or lawyers that they recruited to the institution based on their gameplay, not their teaching play? That's going to be a disconnect. So pretty much what I'm getting at too in another sports ideology, we are saying that if you could be a bad lawyer, right, but you can know how to teach it really well. And in sports, you can be a bad basketball player or any sports guy. I just use basketball as the first thing that come to mind. You can be a bad basketball player, but your IQ level is so good that you can write the game plans up and know what to do with these players who could do what you would do if you was like a player, right? So it's like that. And G said no. Okay, so You've been commenting, G. So I'm gonna let you cook. Now I'm gonna come back and cook as we get through this. Now we in a good debate right now. So I'm gonna read your past ones before I get to the no. So G said like we talked. No, not that one. I already read that one. Where is it? Let me scroll. All right. They do get the best talent. G said they do get the best talent. Like everyone else, they want money. We talking about professors and like law and medical as an example. At colleges, like, yeah, they give up prestige. They give up prestige for this public service, but in exchange for a different kind. These are professionals, and they want the best teacher who would be a professional. Well, you're looking for the middleman, and they do exist. People who can shine as a lawyer and as a teacher. Okay, people who can shine as a lawyer and a teacher. And G said, no. I'm gonna exaggerate. No. When it comes to law and medicine, they adhere to the principles of real world learning. So you want real world professionals who can teach what makes them so good. Have you seen how they get away with murder? I have not seen that. I heard about it. But this is just a good debate. This is just a good debate because I feel like it's the same ordeal. Like, of course, what's that comment you said, G? You said you want people who can shine as a lawyer and as a teacher. See, when you said a lawyer and a teacher, okay, fair. Because then a lawyer, like I said, a lawyer could be just a good lawyer, but they probably not a good teacher. But when you say a lawyer and a teacher, that changes the whole conversation. So yeah, I would want something in law, medicine. I would definitely want law and medicine. I would definitely want somebody with real world experience that can come teach a class if they can. Because in medicine, I talked to my dentist, for example. It was a military dentist. I had like some type of infection. It was a big surgery they did. I don't know how he found it. Shout out to him, because I wasn't having no mouth pains, and it was like I needed mouth surgery, right? And so, and I was on orders with the military, so they took care of my mouth, of course. But the ordeal was, it was such a unique situation, right? And when he did the surgery, he said, "Did you Well, he think it was from my root canal. Root canal. Yes, I hurt myself when I was younger as a kid, so I'd be having problems with my teeth sometimes." And so he said, I asked him. No, I asked him. I said, "Have you ever done this surgery before?" A little nervous in my head. I'm a little nervous. He said, "Nah." I asked him after the fact. I didn't ask him before. I didn't want to make him nervous. And I said, "Have you ever done this surgery before?" He said, "No. I just read a lot of books." I said, "Huh?" So I get what you're saying on that, G. I really do. I really get what you're saying. So now he can go in the future, and of course he can run his own practice, but in a down the line when he doesn't want to do that no more, guess what? He can go be, hopefully, he can be a professor, right? Teaching about that particular situation with my mouth, because that was something they use for future like dentists. Because he a doctor, I believe. He went to dental school. I don't know if he should have been a doctor, yeah. So that was interesting. I don't think he was kidding. Gee, I don't think he was kidding. He said he read, because most of the time they do learn from books. They don't get hands-on experience when they go like dental school, medical school, like your doctor when they do surgery. When they go, I'm reading your comment. That's why I look to the side. When they doing surgery, they don't. They be their first time a lot of times. Or they might experiment, like with dead bodies and stuff. But a live person, that be their first time sometimes. They just really learn the anatomy of a body. I know it sounds kind of scary if somebody don't know that, but I would love to bring. Hey, once again, some ideas. We're gonna bring some people on. Like, hey, do y'all, you know? And so, dental school, medical school, as an intern before, you can even practice yourself. I ain't practicing on myself. That's why I ain't do that. I'm not practicing on myself. No, You learn in residency as well. You do learn in residency, yes. Cause my cousin brother who's a physical therapist. Yes, he's getting ready to do residency now as a physical therapist. But and he experimented on me while he was in college. But he was getting training in like I don't know. I need to ask him how you guys training in because I know he used to help me with things and give me teachings. Like I can give y'all a tip, physical therapy tip. This company not a physical therapist. I can give y'all one tip. He was like, everything is about staying mobile. So when you warming up and stretching, you don't want to do stretches that are like stand still. You want to do mobile stretches. So stretches that like, like bam, bam, the karaoke's and the, like movement stretches and stuff like mobility. Cause he said when you get older, you get stiffer. He was like, think about it. When you get older, you do less walking, you do less running, you do less activity. And that's how older people bones get stiff and ache. But he'll have to give you more information on that. He a dope physical therapist. He's really good though. He's really good. Really good. And so G said you learn residency as well. I'm talking about in dental and medical school, your actual first time is supervised. Maybe more specialized surgeries and stuff, they may be doing it for the first time, but the basics they should know. Definitely. G, I hope I'm not making you nervous, G. I hope I'm not making you nervous. G said no, G said no, my doctors be experienced. Don't play with me, Henry. They be experienced. I'm just saying, G, I'm just saying, they could be, nervous for you. I'm looking for a white. I feel like my camera not clean. Give me a few seconds. Hold on. Give me a few seconds. I thought that's better. I felt like it was looking. I actually don't go to the doctor too often. That means you're really healthy or you need to go to the doctor, G. I'm demanding you to go to the doctor. Never really needed to be honest. Okay. Yeah, always go. Go when necessary. I would say myself I don't go that much either. But as soon as I decide to not have insurance, for some reason I need to go. It don't me feel like that sometimes. Maybe it's psychology on myself. And so I know we went down that lane, but this was about that was a good that was a good G. Got me off topic again. That was a good conversation. That was really good. I couldn't count on one hand the number of times I have been, oh wow. Better be going. You better go. Go once a year, G. If not once, twice a year. It's always good just to make sure everything going smooth. It's always good. It's always good, G. Once a year, twice a year. It's always good too. Yes. 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 It's always good too. Always good too. Always good too. Where is the? I'm looking for the article. Oh, no, that's not it. We actually done with that one. I'm waiting for it to pop back up. But I don't think it's much really else on that though. Besides us going on a deep rant about college presidents need to cut back on their pay because they need to. And then come on, load up. There you go. Guess I had a little. Oh, there you go. Yeah. But one thing he did say was that the President Bailey at Southern Oregon University, he said I don't want to praise this. He said Bailey pushed back against the praise, saying I don't want to celebrate this. He said there are a lot of people who we love and care about, faculty and staff, who are going to be part of this provisional plan to address be a part of this provisional plan to address SOU's fiscal crisis, who are sacrificing more than I'm sacrificing. He said, I want to keep it in perspective. As I like to say, he want to keep it 100 because he know he's gonna have to lay off staff and faculty. And all he had to do was just pull back on his salary a little bit, which is most of what everybody should be doing out here, all these universities. Besides, like, if you're a school that can afford it, cool. This doesn't apply to you. But if you are a school that that like it's selfish of a president or execs that if you can cut back on your salary temporarily, like like who says it was gonna be permanent? But if you know me, I'm gonna tell you now, I'm gonna cut your salary to 250K a year, presidents, and we're gonna use that money allocated to other places, and not even just presidents, all execs. Ain't nobody should be making no $750,000,000 or nothing. It's some people who don't even help with donors. They carry out operations inside the business of the institution. I'm gonna put this in perspective. You got CEOs and stuff at Fortune 500 companies that don't make that much money as some of these presidents and athletic directors and stuff. That's something to put something in perspective. Shoot. If they that good, they need to go work at a Fortune 500 company if they that good. That's how I feel. Shoot. You coming to public service for? Enrollment's still down. So apparently you ain't changing anything right now. See, that's what I be talking about. Enrollment's still down, but you getting millions of dollars. So I say shout out to the president. But as we keep going, did they speak on anything else? Because everything else is just about the president's salary. So right here. Oh, yeah, because I was wondering, he did have the lowest one. So look, check this out, guys, real quick. President Bailey is among the lowest paid university presidents across the Oregon system. Somebody said, the request to reduce the president's salary at this point will continue to further deteriorate the president's compensation against the market. Bailey said he decided the percent salary reduction based on the former SOU president Linda Scott, when she accepted a 20% reduction in 2020. So she took a reduction. This prior president back then in 2020, she took a reduction, bro. It almost been a decade. We are on our way to a decade since 2020. It's crazy. Time flies. So she took a 20% reduction as well around that time. Y'all nice. Because I know plenty of presidents in Georgia, they ain't taking no reduction. Shout out to y'all in Oregon. Y'all got some sense. Because unless y'all just really hurting, shout out to Oregon. Because Georgia, they ain't hearing it. Something gonna pop in a minute. I don't know what's gonna pop. Something about to pop. So that's all we pretty much can say. And then G said, dude, we at the halfway point. Don't give us 5 more years, LOL. We are almost there, G. Think about it. You got September, October, November, December, January. In 5 months. Really 4, but 5 to be on the safe. Then we in 2026. Then, 27, 28. It just moves. G, it just moves. Like, it's like clockwork. It's like, slow down. Like, wait. Yeah, no. Oof, 20s go by like this. I hope everybody been doing what they were supposed to do in college, because 20s, them 20s go by quick. I got 4 more years on. They go by quick. So, is there something else I wanted to mention? Nope. That is all. We covered some good stuff. So now we're going to do the review, guys, so you can go. And we will be on tomorrow around the same time. Yes, indeed. I don't think I have anything planned. No. Put on live chat. What you want to put on the live chat, G? Oh. Let me see. Good convo. No. Once a decade or two, LOL. I agree. Budget cuts shouldn't be praised, especially layoffs. Dude, we have a halfway point. Put on live chat. I said something else. You got the top of the chat on property. Let me see. You did say some other stuff. You said, I'm going to read this part. You said, and I would say a root canal is basic for dental. Nervous. It wasn't a root canal they worked on, though, G. It wasn't a root canal. And then, at least on my mouth, it wasn't a root canal. And then nervous for you, LOL. I actually don't go to the doctor too often. Never really needed to be honest. Never really needed to be honest. I try to be healthy. I could count on one hand the number of times I have been, LOL. Good convo. No. Once a decade or two, LOL. I agree budget cuts shouldn't be praised, especially layoffs, right? And then, dude, we are at the halfway point. Don't give us 5 more years, LOL. And then he said, put on live chat. I read that. And he said, oh, you got it. Okay, I got it. I was going back down just to make sure. I had seen it. And so, but yeah, that is true though. Budget cuts and constraints that shouldn't be celebrated at all. It should not be celebrated. He had the right idea. President Bailey out there. President Bailey, don't look at them salaries online, cause you must really love Oregon, cause you could have. President Bailey probably like, I could be anywhere else making more money. It's gonna be people like President Bailey who gonna believe in what I'm saying. College presidents shouldn't make that much money, and then people gonna be upset because he only get $237,000 a year, which is great money. That's smart. Like people don't even. You got people out here who not even gonna touch 50K for a living, let alone you got presidents making millions. Like that should let you know like education is important. Like getting a college education or knowledge is power. Like and money is I gotta have. It's a saying she said. Dr. Benita Love wrote a book. It's in that, and I cannot remember that phrase. It's a lady who helped out with KIPP, KIPP. I believe it's KIPP. I had to get that book. I checked that book out in the library, and I had read it. I read it while I was in college, like while I was during semester of school, which is crazy. I don't know why I did that to myself. And so I don't have no water. It's okay. We almost done. Ashland. All right. We about to do our review, guys. Most presidents won't cut their salaries. Warrington Lee cut his a couple of times. Interesting. So I got that up. And remember, guys, when we do this, when we break down this college, it's usually important when we break down the college because sometimes the sticker price doesn't match the college scorecard that we use. That's by the Department of Education. So this is like a good part right here. We got future plans on why we do this at the end of every video. You will see once we do this. And we just say like and subscribe so this video can get pushed out. So all our live streams can get pushed out in the future. Because remember, you want to see me more and more and more. Like, if you want to see me during, like, breakouts. Like, I already plan on being here during holidays. I don't think it'll be much information on higher education. But I think I got some ideas for holidays. And, you know, just being here all the time, right? And so we got to like and subscribe to keep that going. Because then the competitors will try to push us out. And so we do have competitors, but the competitors are not who you think. It's not YouTube channels. My competitors are actually like college institutions, potentially politicians, you know, who don't like what I'm saying. It's potentially college presidents, top execs who get paid. Like those are more like the people who are going to be my competition in other places, you know, who I don't know. But like G said, shout out to G. G been here since the beginning. As we keep going, that it's a niche. It's gonna be something they're gonna have to focus on. I feel like respect because we're gonna make sure that you, as a student or parent or guardian, can have trust in like a school. Like that's gonna be the shift. I feel like. Now we do say you should bridge at a 2-year, not bridge at a 2-year. You should start at a 2-year and bridge to a 4-year. That's me. I say that. I live by that. But as you can see, we have conversations with G and sometimes and many other people when they come. But me and G, since G being here all the time, we talk about Ivy Leagues. We talk about the presidents. G hit me with some stuff. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I might mention some stuff I just know I know. And then we just go off the information and we elaborate on it. Because like I'm going to say now, you should start at 2-year and bridge to a 4-year. Why? that saves you $10,000 and more. And when you're at that 2 year, because some 2 years have college campuses, college campuses where you can stay on campus, you need to stay off campus at the 2 year and the 4 year. And you need to transfer under articulation agreement because that's going to save you $10,000 and more. And when you bridge to the university, you stay off campus and you don't get meal plans, but you got to have a part-time job. And I don't know any college student nowadays who don't have a part-time job unless they just rich and wealthy. So the school we finna break down is Southern Oregon University. And if you wonder why I say Southern like that, because I am in the South and we don't say I don't know how people say it like it's spelled Southern or South. I don't know how to say it that way. I always say Southern because everybody says Southern down here. We don't say it like, you know, it's a Southern thing, Southern hospitality thing, you know. So tuition and fees. We're gonna look at the tuition and fees of this school. I really hope this school got some good prices because personally, that the president did that, they might get a little how your instructor say in college, you might get some bonus points because cutting your salary a little bit to me is respect. So graduation rate 54%. That's below the midpoint for 4-year colleges. That's 54%. That's not really good, guys. That's an F. They're not even at the average of graduation rates. Their average annual cost to go here, they're below. See, they're below. The average annual cost is $19,700, but theirs is $16,500, which is below the average, which is good, which means it's affordable. And that, for me, in my perspective, that's good. That means they're not as expensive. They are more likely. They are what's that word? They are less expensive than the typical college. That's what I wanted to say. Because I was about to do the math terminology. I was about to do like stock market terminology. Lord, I'm gibbering my words. So let's fact check that price of the school though. Let's fact check it. How do we fact check it? We go on the school website. We get it from the horse mouth itself because the college scorecard can be a little inaccurate. So we're going to go to the actual school website and see if they have the upcoming school year. If not, we go based off the last year school prices. So right now, as I'm looking, I'm trying to find their tuition. Right here, tuition and fees. Of course, it was hidden. Now it's showing me the mandatory fees. Please read. So I'm going to read this. It says Southern Oregon University remains committed to providing high quality, accessible, and affordable education. In June 2024, the Board of Trustees approved a new mandatory student fee structure. See here. It says starting with the 2024-2025 academic school year, students will now be charged a single mandatory fee of $104.22 per credit hour. So per credit hour, obviously, is when you do like the schedule, and I'll get into that, but that's not what we're looking for. They said that's the mandatory fee. So that's a one-time payment, a single mandatory fee. But we're looking for their actual tuition, but I'm not finding the tuition. I'm finding everything else, like mandatory fees. I think this is it right here. No, that's a one-time fee as well. And here it goes. But they're only showing, so I guess it's a little outdated, guys, because they're showing me the 2023 to 2024 tuition. So I guess it's one of them schools gonna have to find it, which is not good because it should be easy to find with tuition. So let me see. Let's see if I can find it for you guys. See, the best part about this though, when I do this editing, you don't have to go through this problem like me. So, tuition fees. Let's do a tuition calculator then. It's not accurate, but I guess we can use your tuition calculator. That's what you're gonna show me. So I'm gonna do. They got a tuition calculator. The school does. So I'm gonna do undergraduate credits. I'm a typical Oregon resident, and I'm a traditional undergraduate student. I'm a traditional undergraduate. Calculate my tuition and fees. So right here they said my bill would be with the fees, mandatory fees. I am looking at a tuition of $3,545. If I had to round that, I would just say 3,500. I'm looking at paying 3,500 for, I believe this is one semester, right? Because y'all not telling me. Yeah, it says 12 credit hours, so yeah, one semester, pretty much. So to get the per credit hour, if you know about per credit hours, what I usually do, I put the exact number in here. So 35, 45, 76 divided by 12. That gives us 295. So, can I copy that? No, I can't copy it. So, $295.48. So, that's $295. 295.48 times 12 will get you that number we just said, 35.45 per credit. Not per credit hour, but total money. That's usually how I get the per credit hour, because some schools hide it. They don't let you know how much you're being charged per credit hour. And so, but the main thing you need to know is 35.45, which I'm going to put in the group chat. I meant the live screen. That's the group chat. I'm going to put it in the live screen for us. All right, it's ready. Boom. Because that's a lot of gibberish. If it was up to me, I would have said 30. I should have said 3,600, but as you can see, it's not 3,600. It's 35.45. So I'm going to do that times 2, because that's how much you're looking at for a school year. So you're looking at $7,000 ish. $7,000, almost $7,100 a year. But keep in mind, guys, that doesn't include what? You stand on campus. Do they have a campus? Yeah, it's a university. So it doesn't include you staying on campus, which is easily an average of $2,000 added to the semester. So that 3,000 will go from, it will go to 5,000. Then that would be like, the 2,000 would be for dorms. Then another 2,000 will be for your meal plan on the low end. So remember, for one semester, that's 3 plus 2, 5. 5 plus 2, that's 7. So then easily on estimate, 7 plus 7, because that's 14,000. So 7,000 plus 7,000 is 14,000 for the year, potentially at this school. So I'm going to look up, because I don't know this school housing situation. So I'm going to type in housing rates on their search bar on their website. And then if it's 2,000 on average, of course, we'll just run with that. It's a 17,000 estimate for the school year, which it makes sense because they said they charge about 16,000 at the school, so we're not far off right now. So I'm gonna look up their housing rates. So SOU student housing, right? Are y'all gonna show me the prices? They have residence halls, student apartments, and family housing, campus dining. We want to know the student. We want to know residence halls. Keep it simple. Y'all gonna show us the prices, or I'm gonna have to call, cause they be. I'm gonna go. Yeah, the prices must be high. They're not even showing the prices. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna just choose this hall right here, and okay, I'm gonna click another button and see where the link. It says click here. Take me to Adobe PDF. Woo, just to get the price. It's crazy. Y'all might lose y'all bonus points for this one. And we're watching, and we're waiting, and we're watching, and we're waiting, and we're watching, and we're waiting. Dobie. All right. So it hasn't opened yet. That is, yeah, Southern Oregon University for you, SOU. Just like them, they don't want to show us the pricing. Should have just ran away with my estimates. But I want to get the actual, at least see what the plan. This is one of their halls. It's for, yeah. Yeah, I don't think this is working. Oh wow, it's not even nothing. It's literally the floor. Wow, it's not even the. Damn, it showed me the prices. Damn, it showed me the prices. It just showed me like the actual floor, like plan, like this 2,000 on estimate. It's gonna cost you 2,000 for housing and meal plans. So we can say the college scorecard is a little accurate. So you're looking at about, yeah, 16,500 per year. So if you do 16,500, as you know me, 16,500 times, let me backspace that, 16,500 times 4, if you graduate in 4 years, it's $66,000 for going there for 4 years. But the average earnings you can make, this is based on students who are if they are financial aid students, if they receive financial aid. For some reason they base it off financial aid, but I think it's really for all students if you ask me. But you're going to make about $50,000, but your education is going to cost about 66,000 on estimate easily. So that's pretty good. Depending on your major, that's pretty good. So in 10 years, you can make about $50,000, which is under or over. Now, like I said, depending on your major, like everybody, I'm pretty sure you got people at that school that made over $50,000, and you got people who made under 50,000, and you got people who probably make exactly that. So it's all right, I guess, but let's keep going. So we talked about graduation rate. Their retention rate is 69%. That's another F on the 100% scale. That's not good. Students receiving federal loans is 41%, 9% off from 50%. So that's almost half of their students. The average debt you're going to get when you go to this school is $20,000. Whew. $20,000, guys. I'll be honest with you guys. 20,000. That's all I'm gonna say on average. So let's close that. We talked about the earnings. I think it's another part in the earnings though, as you keep going. Yeah. So if you go to Southern Oregon University, you have a 64% chance of making more than a high school student. That's pretty low. It's pretty low. And yeah, you know. And the test scores, they have an 83% acceptance rate, which means you have a very good chance of getting into this school. This school does not require the SAT or ACT. And we know why, as I always like to say, like a punchline, because schools need students to go to college nowadays. So you're trying to make it as easy as possible, just like we talked about with direct admissions, right? So what do I rate this school? They got anything else? They're 4 year, they're public, suburban, they're medium population. I rate this school it seemed like a simple college, local state. I would rate this school. They would rate a D. They're not an F, but a D. Why? Because when I looked at their tuition, granted, when I looked at tuition, it was only, like we said, it was only like 3,500 pretty much. It was only like $3,500. So 3,500 is not crazy in pricing, but that's a bit over my purchasing power. When I was in school, I understand school prices are going up, so it's in that D range, I would say, because my purchasing power was, like I always like to say, it was 2,000 to 3,000 max. that extra 500 is not really that bad. So, but they still fall into a D because if I was transferring from a 2 year to a 4 year, I would have been like 3,500 per semester. But I gotta hope I'm gonna only be there for what? I gotta hope I'm gonna be there for what 2 years just to get my bachelor's because I'm transferring from my 2 year. But if I see another school that's around, let's think about this. If I see another school with similar prices to theirs, and they are known to be a little better, what you think I'm gonna do? I'd rather take the chance with that other school who's perceived to be better because I never heard of Southern Oregon University, and they can always redeem themselves. They have that's a decent tuition price, but when you factor in their own campus housing, their meal plans, it's not worth it. And so that's where they're gonna fall as a D because most kids, at least right now, most kids and parents and guardians are going to let their kids stay on the campus, and they're gonna have to foot $66,000 in 4 years, which most likely they won't even graduate in 4 years. They're going to graduate in 5 or 6. So they're going to be a D. If they want to redeem themselves, they can reach out to speaking on behalf. We have an interview. Have an interview with some important people. Can't say that because then they might get some ideas. Then they can ask us some questions if we have some, or just present themselves. You never know. We might have a lot of people from Oregon watching eventually. So, yeah, that's Southern Oregon University, and they are a D rating. So that's pretty much everything. How long did we go for? Did we hit 2 hours? I think we did. It's almost 11 o'clock. Did we almost hit? Let me see. Yeah, we almost did hit 2 hours. Oh wow. All right, G. G, we gotta do something for 4 more minutes. We gotta do something for 4 more minutes because we might as well. It's almost 2 hours. So, what you got? You got some, G? You got something for the next three? As this low, I think it's 3 minutes now. For the next, yeah. Well, it's almost 3 minutes we got left then. So we are done though. We had everything. We had all our topics. Almost. Yeah, almost. I'm gonna look on LinkedIn and see if anything is on here. Let me see. 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 I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing about higher education in this moment of time. So, well, I think if we want to talk about some, I think what college football is coming up. Yeah, Palantir is a good company. Change your mind. You talk about Palantir. Yeah, Palantir. You said is a good company. Change your mind. What you say, G? Said tell me that again, G. So I make sure I hear you right. As you are talking about one of the best companies out there, one of the best. Top 100, top 100, top 100, top 100. Palantir isn't a good company, but a good investment. What's up, G? What's up? How long you knew about Palantir, G? I guess How long you knew about Palantir, G? Let's do this. How long you knew about Palantir? How long you knew about Palantir? Come on, give me your spiel. I'm gonna give you your. Come on, give me your spiel, G. You better not run either. You better be typing them fingers away. Like, isn't a good company. That's all you. She said, isn't a good company. I'm waiting for more, G. It's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. They're helping other businesses thrive. But if you factor in the other when they were a really small company, they're helping other businesses thrive. Like I said, if you factor in the military situations, of course I can't speak on that right now. I can see people's perspective. And once they got those military contracts, they blew up. Yeah, they've been had the military contracts though. they been had military contracts. It was really, from my understanding and research, they lacked commercial. So they had a lot of government contracts, really, but the information they got is classified, and so not even I know these things. Like they got higher clearance than me. I'm like, what? Like, because I ain't hear about it, and so they help. Yeah, they do. I think they do. I think. And so very sensitive, touchy topics, right? But they do these things that are very like controversial, right? And so yeah. And so I don't know. I just all I can say is this. We live here, and of course we like to be safe, right? And so, guys, I really don't want to get into this debate right now. Because I know it's a very controversial. It's like da 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 da. I don't know, and I'm not well versed in the area personally to be speaking on it. So what I can say though is I get it. I understand perspective of civilians. I really do. That's why I don't say much on it. I understand their perspective, and I do know they got their hand in it, and they got their hand in other things as the company. Um, But if you really dig into everything about different companies on the stock market, besides that company, Palantir, every company has some bad things about them. You know, like there are companies on the stock market that are used specifically for, they run prisons, right? And we know how that is, and we already know how unfair that is, right? And so, do I invest in prison company? No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. No, I don't. Do people invest in green companies? I mean, not green companies, but companies like if you are a green investor, because I am disclaimer, I am what's that? I'm not disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. If you are somebody that believes in the earth should be green, you are a green investor. There's all types of investors, which is that's pretty cool, right? You got people who strictly invest in like things that are good for the earth, good for like vegetarian, vegan options. Roads should be clean, EV. So G said, but not every country is warmongering, right? And then G said, and we make fun of China for something potentially coming to the U.S. through companies like, yeah, they data collaboration. Honest, yeah, because everybody thinks, yeah, they think it's going. So, G, I can't imagine. G, I can't imagine what you be watching. I know what you be watching on your YouTube. I know what you be watching. But we did hit our 2 hour mark. Definitely something we always can pick up on, G. And G, hopefully, G, in the future, excuse me, you stay with us. We can have these topics on another channel one day. When this channel, but not every company, yeah. You know, we have that channel, G. We can have these conversations. Cause these conversations, woo, I'd be like, woo. I wish I talk about these on camera. But we done. We'll be on tomorrow. Get some sleep, G. Don't work too much. Um, and then we'll see each other again at this time, 9 o'clock tomorrow, sharp. Salute you, G. So, peace, chicken grease.